Hi everybody, my name is Jan, I'm Director Web3 and Partner at DEPT, and I'm really excited about our session today. We are here to talk about the road to metaverse commerce. Wow, that's an ambitious goal, so I'm more than happy that I have no other than Lange from H&Mbeyond with me today. Hi Olli.
Hey.
We are collaborating for almost a year now on the showroom/metaverse project. It's really good to have you here today. How are you doing? And would you please introduce yourself to our audience?
I will. Thank you, Jan, for inviting me. I'm beyond happy and proud all of the time. I have the best job in the world, I guess. And it's a pleasure to explain our roadmap to you guys, which I would not say is the roadmap to metaverse e-commerce, but at least we started and we are on the street. I'm responsible for a tiny little team called H&Mbeyond, which is an open innovation retail lab based in Berlin, and we have the purest pleasure looking into future products, services, experiences that may be relevant for our customers. And the good thing is we do that in our open innovation approach. So we always find and want and need a partner who's co-creating with us. In that case, great that we met you guys. It doesn't feel like nearly a year, it feels like seconds, to be honest, which is great.
Thank you for being here today. And we will discuss our metaverse case in just a second. But before we start, I would like to give you a little bit of an introduction to the topic. So in my role as Director of Web3, I'm talking to many clients right now, and I find myself in diverse strategic discussions. So where is the whole thing heading? Which platforms are the best to explore? What are the most successful use cases at the moment? And when will it finally reach mass adoption? And so on. But the most important question is, in my opinion, why should I start a metaverse journey? And this is probably the best question to start your journey with. Because it's easy to answer. It's an ever-recurring crossroads moment in digital history. And I would like to give you 3 lessons from the past now. So, in the 90s, lots of companies said, we don't need a website because people learn about us through TV and print. And in the 2000s, a lot said, we don't need an e-commerce strategy because people will buy in-store. And in the 2010s, way too many thought, we don't need a mobile website or app. People buy everything on desktop. And today, in the early 2020s, I think people still haven't learned from the past and say, we don't need a metaverse or NFT strategy. It's just a hype and our existing channels work just fine. But we all know where this probably leads to, right? Others will get their slice of the metaverse cake. You probably agree now that it could make sense to move into this space, but what awaits brands and what is going to change over the next years? That's, of course, really hard to project, simply because we are entering a whole decade of disruption. And there's this complex mesh of emerging technologies that is about to turn all our lives upside down. Metaverse, gaming, virtual and augmented experiences on the one side, and NFTs, crypto and DeFi on the other hand. And they are all interconnected. And this will impact marketing, branding, and of course e-commerce. So we cannot predict the exact future at this super early stage. But we see 3 paradigm shifts happening sooner rather than later. So gradually, the architecture of websites, apps and online shops will also shift from flat to immersive as well. And this will create entirely new ways of experiencing products, telling stories and engaging users. On top of this, we will develop a digital identity alongside our physical one. With the rise of social media, we all have been investing heavily in our digital display already. But in the next decade, we will also spend a significant amount of money on this avatar economy, which is already one of the most promising fields of metaverse commerce. And we're already seeing a tendency to turn stores from points of sale into points of experience. With the use of Web3 tech like AR, NFTs or phygital items, brands can bridge the gap between the real and the virtual world. As you see, there are lots of opportunities in the metaverse, and we just scratched the surface of what's really possible. But what's in it for you as a brand or retailer? Important question. We see 3 strategic fields. Of course, you can reach new customers. And in particular, Gen Z and Alpha are at risk of being completely lost without proper channel activation. And with all these new immersive experiences and tactics like token-gated commerce, you can engage with customers in unseen ways. All of these new techs, platforms and paradigms bring the opportunity to create new categories. And you can become the category leader of this. And if you summarize all of this, you can make your brand and business future-proof. And this is definitely what all of you want. So, what do I want you to keep from my little brainwashing session? Number one, bad news. There's a huge digital revolution coming your way, and it has already started. But there are also good news, because it's still super early and you can make use of this. There are many blue oceans you can capture. You better be up and running, have learned your lessons when the mass adoption hits. So start your journey ASAP. And you're not alone, because there are smart brands like Nike, Gucci, and of course H&M that are your pathfinders. They take phased approaches, they move super fast, they experiment, they learn, and they are open for collaboration. And they like to talk about their achievements. And that's really great, because we can hear from Ollie himself how he's spearheading innovation at one of the biggest fashion brands in the world. So Ollie, would you please take over for a minute and tell us a bit about your metaverse journey?
You said it, fast-paced, quick, learn, adapt. That's exactly how our mentality is, I would say, in the team. So we try to break down this beauty of what is on the table. We try to break it down to very core use cases and very dedicated stakeholder groups in the beginning to get our foot on the street. We partnered with you guys because we had this one thought. We had this thought of a digital showroom. So what would the digital showroom be? It's the beauty spot where H&M welcomes press, media, influencers and stylists and shows the latest collection. So that's a very important spot for us. Happily, we partnered up with you guys because you helped us a lot in creating that first case. And the first case was we built a virtual showroom for press, media and influencers. What I think is smart when you do things like that is already having a roadmap and iterations in mind. We have a rollout plan. We started B2B in a creation that took 12 weeks. It was not in a hurry, but it was very speedy. And the virtual showroom was a totally new experience. I can only say that. Unique, immersive experience, showcasing a collection in a new way, walking around an environment, a gamified experience even, getting background information from designers, interviews on screens, listening in, downloading the assets you need. So just making it way more beautiful than just scrolling on a flat screen, as we have heard from you today. And I'd like to show you. Yeah, and what we were aiming for, I would say, plays in three fields. We have the main stakeholder group, right? Press, media, influencers. How do they feel about it? Do we answer their demand? So that was the first check we were after. Second is H&M internally, H&M global teams. We always need them in information. You can't go without internal partners. So whom do we need to convince with the results in order also to create the new cases, right? And the third is Gen Z. And Gen Z is on that table not because they are stakeholders from a showroom perspective, but because they are the main stakeholders for us to learn how do we want to expose our brand in the virtual world and what offers are seen to be relevant. And I have a pleasure sharing it with you, Jan, and also with the team here watching, starting with that great quotation from Vogue as one of our first tier partner in media. They were welcoming that space, were really happy about the creation. They said it's absolutely worth it, crazy good detail, great way of garment displays and great background information on the collection. So very good, main goal for that creation particularly. Second is the internal discussion really helped on that roadmap, because H&M globally was so proud on that development that they even took it and talked about it outside H&M with pride, I would say. And third is opening that space for some hundreds of Gen Z was important to us. Even if the campaign was down and the garments were sold, we just felt like, let's invite them to that space, expose our space to them, and listen in. How do they feel, what do they see, and what do they wish for? And we got some very good tendencies already then, that they love being in these worlds. They love to have more, so there's a hunger for more experiences that we could create, but it needs to be catered to their needs and what they wish for. So this is what we learned.
Did they express exactly what they want from you in the future? I'm really excited about this. So.
Yeah, they did. So we also talked to them. We saw that for the first time very clearly, digital and NFT was on the list. It was deprioritized, but it was clearly to be seen on that list. So we can see that trend coming, as you told us. But we also heard that they expect fashion to be experience first. So that was where we are on the track naturally with the virtual showroom, I would say. But then also the whole engagement part. So being engaged, meeting each other, having like a social life there. To sum up, we have successfully implemented that virtual showroom. So it's out there, it's in the hands of press, and they take it and they activate it whenever they think it makes sense, B2B. On our end, we take the Gen Z feedback and we run with it. So that's basically the thing that I can look into together with you. And maybe you're excited. I am when I'm showing this to you. Celestial Spaces, the first concert in the H&M virtual universe. We have evaluated, we have pitched, we have internally found the right partners to go with, sitting in the field of music, culture, and marketing. And the artist we decided for is BGYO, P-pop band, as you would call it maybe. And we felt like if we offer these people the option to be exposed in a virtual concert, we would learn heavily. So this is what we did, and you can. It's just like happening some weeks ago, and I can show you some results or how it looks like.
When I see you walk, when I see you walk, let me see. When I see you walk, when I see you walk, let me. When I see you walk, when I see you walk, let me. When I see you walk, when I see you walk. I don't know what kind of spell you've been putting on me.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. It's even hot at the moment because we have done it some days ago.
Sizzling, it's sizzling hot.
It's sizzling hot, and I could do my field study with my 10-year-old, and she was enjoying that space. She was in there with her smartphone, strolling around, flying around, taking pictures, creating memorable moments. She even shared it with their friends.
I'm excited, of course, about the results, because you shifted from B2B to B2C so fast. How did this affect your goals?
We had Gen Z very prominently on the table here. So we really thought like, okay, they are now the users, they are now the customers. So it needs to cater their needs and their demands, so we need to listen closely to them, not to press, media and influencers anymore. But press and media was still very important to us because we wished for a little buzz that is created and that also pushes a little bit gently from the outside, like, okay, H&M, this is cool, you should do things like that.
I don't want to spoil too much, but I think you managed that quite well.
Okay, if you say it, then I believe it. And the third is, as you have learned already, H&M Group, so internal stakeholder management, evaluate internally and get the new sponsors on board, right? So we managed to be covered in CNN Philippines, which is just great. Very, very nice moment seeing this live TV.
Maybe a live goal for some here.
Yeah, maybe, but great that you celebrated like that. Social media we took over for a time, so the whole concert, the whole crowd, BGYO, the band, it was just trending heavily. I think it was like a big amount of communication that went global from a very core use case we had, right?
And isn't that really the sweet thing about connecting with the community, right? And making them, creating the buzz for you. So I think that's really a sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
That you found out there.
I agree. I'm not a marketing expert, but this is, at least I feel very satisfied because it comes from the people and not from us, right? But then also from many, many thousand who joined the concert, We got some thousand and we invited them to a survey, and we got such good feedbacks on qualitatively level. So thousands of people were writing nice sentences, but on the quantitative side, we learned that the NPS is crazy high. So they want to just have more of it, and they would suggest it to their friends. The experience rating they gave us was crazy high, so we expected good results, but not like something going through the roof. But what was kind of really motivating was the ask and the demand for products. So it was, I want to buy physical merchandising of that band of H&M. I want to buy digital merchandise. I want to buy digital, whatever. It's just a door opener to next use cases, I would say, right? But we heard clearly from the stakeholders. It was not just we think it is like that. We listen to them and we adapt. This is how the journey always looked like. And so what you might expect now on that journey, if we zoom out a little bit and we are close to finish, we have tested like the first case with the showroom where we showcase the collection in a new and immersive way. Check on that. B2B is alive and is progressing. We have engaged a local community around an artist, and we celebrated music and culture together in a time and space, and we got so good feedback. But we also heard that there's more that they ask for, right? As I said. So you will see a third case that will come up or may come up from us will be connected to monetization and looking for, okay, what do people want to buy and how are the mechanics? So this you will maybe see. And another thing that my heart beats for is purely co-created on-demand collections. So co-creating pieces together with creators, artists, or customers in the virtual world. And if there's a need for it, then we start producing as a brand. It's just a nice way of funneling down creativity and producing in a very sustainable way. And what goes beyond that? Let's see next time maybe, but this is so far what we have done.
It's just such a nice representation of how you can use the momentum, right? Find the right partners, the right people internally and externally to start this journey with. Iterate, learn, adapt, right? And then, power through like you do always. Impressive to hear, I think. I can imagine that everybody that was listening today is also blown away, right? And so what would your advice be for all the listeners today? If they want to start their own journey, if they want to innovate, if they want to get in contact with new target groups, engage them, where should they start? What should they do?
My reflection on that question is more about how we do things than what we do. One might be that you need to have internal allies. You need to know that the team internally that pushes you with the right energy and the right mindset. Sometimes it's not dedicated to the roles they have. It's sometimes just like the people and their mindset. One thing. It helps on the financial side as well. So if you have people on your side and they have a shared interest, then you can finance projects like this. Second is on a very human level, try to risk something. So follow your gut feeling, take responsibility, take ownership, calculated risks, I would say, but we never go without. So we need to take a first step, a bold step into a direction. Third is be clear on what the use case is, what the goals are, and what you want to measure. You need to know this before you do something. It makes things way more easy. And for the fourth, maybe just be prepared for obstacles, influences from the side, unstable grounds, things that impact your timeline, your goals, and your product. So be very agile in such an unstable environment. I think this is also a matter of how times are, right? And one thing comes up now, which is very important, and this we also see everywhere in all projects. Find a partner who's really credible and who kind of takes you by the hand and co-create solutions together with you. And in that journey, it was just great to have DEPT on our side early in the beginning.
Thank you. Very, very good to hear that. Thanks everybody for listening today. I hope you enjoyed our session. Unfortunately, we can't be here today to answer all your questions, but we're super happy if you connect us via LinkedIn. Just scan the QR codes and connect with us. And we will definitely be happy to chat with you.
Right. Yeah.
So thanks for listening. Have a good one.
Happy day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jan.